Hey everybody, this is my 125 gallon native tank, and the other day I set my minnow trap out. I was hoping to catch some rosy side dace. They're a beautiful little minnow that lives in my local stream here. They've got a little red stripe down their side and they've got some blue coloration in them, and they absolutely sparkle when you get them under the right light. So I did go back down and check the trap the next day, and there was nothing in it. I wound up kind of chatting about the stream and walking around a little bit, and so I never posted that video on my YouTube channel here. I did post it over on Patreon. I do a lot more of my outdoorsy kind of stuff over on Patreon, so I wound up putting it over there as I often do with YouTube videos that I decide not to post here on YouTube for whatever reason. So at any rate, if you want to check that out, you can go check out my Patreon page. In the meantime, we are going to go set the trap back out again today. I'm going to set it in a different spot than I did last time. Well, it's going to basically be the same spot, but it's going to be a little bit further upstream by just a few feet. I did actually see some of the rosy side dace down there the last time I went down there to pick the trap up. Unfortunately, none were in the trap. I did catch a bunch of fish, but they were all those little brown striped minnows, and that's not what I'm interested in at the moment. So I still don't have anything to do with the chubs. I haven't gotten in here and tried to get them out of the tank just yet. I will worry about that when the time comes. Today we're just going to basically set the minnow trap out and not worry about it for a day or two. I'll go back tomorrow or the next day and we'll check it out and see what we've got in there. So give me a minute. Let me get myself together and we'll make our way down to the stream and go get the minnow trap set out. Alright everybody, I figured it's a beautiful autumn day, so we may as well just get a little bit of video of the drive down the street. For those of you who are unfamiliar with my little trips down the street here or whatever, this will give you a little more realistic idea of when I say how I'm just going right down the street. I really mean it. The little stream we just crossed over top of is the stream that we're heading to. It's just that we're going down to a place where it's easy for me to park and where I have permission from the guy that owns the property through there that allows me to walk on his property and put my trap out there. And I know that his kids are aware of who I am and all that kind of stuff, so I know his kids aren't going to come out and mess with my trap if I leave it out there. He's already, told them to leave it alone and that sort of thing. So it makes for a nice little spot. A lot of times when I come down here, I just walk, because right there at the bend in the road is where we're going to be parking. But I first need to come down here to Chip's driveway and get us turned around. So this is the driveway of the guy that owns all the property we're going to be walking on. And I don't know how much he owns, but it must be a lot. So give me a minute and I will see you down at the water. Now, the last time I was down here a few days ago, I'd commented on how low the water was, and it just really struck me as odd. And I even suggested that maybe the water was being diverted or used to supply a new community or something like that. But since then I've been looking around and I've looked at several other small local streams like this. I've looked at several ponds, whether they're little community flood type ponds or they're permanent ponds. Everything is just drying up. The water is really, really low everywhere I go and everywhere I look. So there's nothing unusual going on here. It's just this is how everything is. I normally see tons of minnows swimming around in here, and today I don't see any at all. So as I also mentioned in the other video, we had very unusual rain patterns over the summer, where we got rain that came down in huge amounts over very short periods of time. So what we wound up getting was an awful lot of flooding and runoff, but it did very little for soaking in and really reestablishing the water table and the ground level. So we had an oddly wet summer in a way, but everything's really dried up at the same time. So this little spot here is where I normally throw it, and I can see a ton of little minnows swimming around in there. But up here I've noticed even more minnows, and I can even right now I can see some rosy-side dace swimming around right in there. I love looking at stuff like this. See stuff like that. That in itself gives me inspiration for stuff I'd like to put in some of my tanks. All right, let's see how we're tangled up here now. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and just put it right here in the middle of the current. It's fairly deep. There we go. There's a dying bumblebee. I honestly don't even need this stuck in the ground. I can just leave the branch lying there. It's just something to make sure the string stays out for me to be able to get to it. All right, everybody, that's it. We'll come back tomorrow or possibly Sunday, and we will see if anything's in there. So in the meantime, I'm going to say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss when we come back here and check it in a day or two. I'll see you real soon in the next one.